Welcome back to episode 32 of the podcast. You know me, it's your boy. Don't need to get into all that. But I'm sore, body beat up. But it's a new year. I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm good. I don't know why you're so sore. You're still young, man.
No.
Well, you're out of shape now, right?
Probably out of shape.
Basketball shape.
Out of basketball shape. I scrimmaged with my high schoolers yesterday. Or should I say against them? We had some of our old guys playing. I took one of the freshmen to run with my 5. We won.
Y'all won?
Yeah, so still got it. But, it's funny because someone asked, they was like, Kev, you can dunk, right? Like one of my old players? And I'm like, no. And they were like, Vinny dunking. Mind you, Vinny is about 4 inches shorter than me.
4 inches shorter?
Yeah, and I was like, Vinny's also like 7 years younger than me. So, like there's a little bit of a difference here, But, yeah, it was just fun getting out there. And I really like doing it just to push some of our guys,
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much necessarily about, me just playing. But I just like to kind of mess with some of our guards, play them kind of physically. Give them something they're not used to so that, playoffs come around or, just a tough game in general, we're prepared for it.
Well, I think it's good to give them some of that experience on the court. Show them that you can walk what you talk.
Yeah.
So it's always good to show them that.
I think it's fun doing that too at the beginning of the season, before any of them ever see me kind of touch a ball, because you get out there and play and run, and I go out there and I compete. Like I even ran sprints with them a few times yesterday just to show them like, there's room for improvement. Because I think some of them, one of the issues we have is pushing yourself.
Right.
Which is something, critical. That's a big skill in life, just being able to push yourself, even if you're in the gym alone, going at full speed, going game speed. And so, when you look at something as simple as running sprints, if you don't run them hard, you're kind of wasting your time.
Right.
Like, even if you're running because it's a punishment, you still run them hard because it helps with your conditioning. Like, when I used to run 17s, right, I used to, I'm sprinting anyway because I want to come in first.
Right.
But then I would look to see, during the season, what number could I get to before I started feeling tired. Because, when you run in sprints, it's not like when you run in distance and you start feeling, your fatigue gradually sets in. Now, when you run in line to line, it's like when you hit that line, turn around and go back, it just zaps, right? And so I used to try to see, the start of the season, it might be like 6. Like yesterday, when I got to 6, I was like, whoo, but, I still pushed through, right? So it's like teaching them that even when you're in pain, you still push. Like, you don't make a choice to run like you're tired. You let your body force you to do that and still, give all you got in the tank. So they're going to learn.
I remember when I was that age, I can remember some things when was that age. That part was kind of fun too. Running sprints and stuff like that. Like you said, I always wanted to come in first. Mm-hmm. I think I probably always usually came in first on the teams that I was on. Me being the little guy.
Yeah, you gotta. Like that's the other thing. Like if you're a guard or you're small, you gotta be fast.
Yeah. And it was just, I don't know, that was fun. Like, I don't know, like basketball was fun. Even the practice was fun. I mean, I loved the scrimmage more, but I still loved, doing all of it. Even when we used to work in half-court sets and didn't get the scrimmage, I used to love that. But some things you're always gonna like more.
Right.
And, running up and down the court, I loved more. And then my conditioning was good. It was real good.
Yeah, same. Like senior year, I used to play all 32 minutes unless I got into foul trouble, which wasn't often. So it's just I was able to do that because I was in such good shape. And, I talked to them after practice. I'm trying to help them develop a winning mindset to win at everything, whether it's sprints, whether we're doing drills, just so that you realize that, like, hey, I can do more. Like, I can bring something more out of me. And I told him, I was like, we all laugh at that clip of when Kobe was going off and walked out of practice, talking about these guys soft like Charmin, like they supposed to make me better. Like how, it's like that's why we gotta push each other, because that's the only way you get better, right? Like I always say, I had my boy Lil Eddie, who I felt like was chasing my spot, and so because he was going at me and I was going at him, we both got better. So when I left, he was ready. He already knew from watching me what he had to do when he was a senior. So it's just something to keep in mind.
Like it was funny too because like what I remember when I played in high school, and like playing in high school, playing at the Y, you know what, I always played against somebody that you had to be, you had to bring your A game for real.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like but you know what, at the while it's like repetition. You're gonna bring your A game anyway. But I mean, like it was so much more because like what, you ain't want to get embarrassed,
Mm-hmm.
and like everybody that you played against was good. Everybody make you play harder. I mean everybody did. Like I mean I can't remember nobody really like that.
Something else? That's why you have to practice like it's a game, so that things become second nature, so that you do them without thinking
Right.
about them. Like,
Right.
we preach on, boxing out, right? It gets to a point where, if you're doing it every day, at some point, shot goes up, you're hitting the body, like
It's
without
gonna
thinking
be
about it.
automatic, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
gonna be
like
automatic.
they shoot, I'm like, all right, I gotta hit somebody,
Right.
and I never was a rebounding guard. I was fortunate to play with some guys that could actually rebound the ball pretty well. But there would be nights where I'm like, yo, Earl down there working. He's not getting these boards, and I would know, like because I knew he was giving 200% on the board. So if he wasn't coming up with them, I'm like, we got help. It's gang rebounding. Earl would say like, yo, I need help, and that means you better at least box somebody out. Like I wouldn't necessarily pursue the ball. I would just go try to lean on a big to free Earl up. So it's just like
But
things you got to program yourself, but you do that in practice. So like you said, repetition.
yeah. But another thing was like I remember like when you talk about that, like I remember some games, man, when I would get, I would have like 5, 6 rebounds,
Mm-hmm.
and like what the funny thing was when you could go in there and steal a rebound. So
Mm-hmm.
you can go in there and steal a rebound, snatch it, and make
Yeah.
that ball,
Yeah,
make
like
that
when you go
loud
up there
sound.
and you go
Yeah,
boom, or
yeah,
you know what I used to do on
yeah,
rebounds? I
yeah,
used to yell because I was the
yeah,
smallest guy on the
yeah,
floor. I
yeah.
used to go get it like ah, and come down and just take off. Like I used to love doing that.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
I used to actually, like senior year, I was actually a pretty good shot blocker, believe it or not. You know how?
yeah.
Used to get them from behind all the
Right,
time. Like
right.
I was pretty good at, you know, even if a guy had a breakaway layup, I could run, like if he's on his right side, I'm running on his right shoulder. And once he goes to go up, I would get it. So I would get at least one block a game, one charge a game.
Well, see,
Or when big guys try to get busy in the lane and they go to turn, or just knock it away from behind.
right.
It's
But
just,
I used to always catch people going up.
yeah.
That's where I always catch them.
I'm good at that on, like a lot of times when guys are driving, you know how they kind of bring the ball here before they go up? And I do it too, so that's when I get messed up in games and I got to start, D Rose cuffing it here. But whenever they would bring it here, I would easily get that little swipe, and I would just wait for it. So like even if a guy beat me, I'd be like, all right, I get that.
Another thing I used to do too, and I could catch somebody usually at least once a game.
Hmm.
When they would dribble or bring the ball up court, I just lax. And when they touch the ball, when the ball leave the top of their hand,
Hmm.
then I
You
go
should,
for
yeah.
it. Cause they gotta get the ball. See, like if they lax and like and I tried to keep a certain distance where they just think I'm not even gonna do it.
Hmm.
And I used to catch players like at least once a game.
Yeah, I never mastered that. I've tried it.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Cause when the ball leave their hand and it going to the floor, you gotta remember they gotta go down and get it. So now, if I'm in distance, a nice distance, it's a race.
hmm yeah, last thing I'm going to say about hoops, and then we got to move on. Our defensive techniques were a little bit differently. Like, you used to get a lot of steals that way, right? Me, on the other hand, you know how you kind of preach giving guys space at times? I rarely ever gave a guy space. Like, I was in his jersey, so I got my steal by, I would sit on his right hand. Because most guys, they want to come back to it because it's comfortable. And especially, my advantage was I knew most guys on, each game, they wasn't having a guard check them the length of the floor. right? You know, they see a lot of zones in high school, or guys pick you up at like kind of 3-point line. So I knew most nights guys weren't used to catching the inbound with a defender there. We weren't even in full court press. I was just up, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like they're not even pressing us. It's just this one dude that's trying to strap me up the length of the floor. And so I would just basically put my body on your right hand. I call it putting your right hand in my lap. That way, if you go to cross back over, you handed me the ball.
Right.
So I used to get a bunch of steals that way.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I teach my guys now, like, you come to games, you see us reach at times. Reaching drives me crazy because I'm like, you don't have to reach. You never have to swipe at the ball, especially at this level. I'm like, you pressure them enough, they'll make the mistake.
See, another thing where I used to get steals at, because the way that I played, I used to wait for people to turn their back.
Mm-hmm.
Once you turn your back, like that, like, you know what, yeah, we're not gonna stay on this. We'll talk about this stuff some other time.
Yeah. So the basketball world had a big loss this week with former NBA Commissioner David Stern. He died at the age of 77. So rest in peace to his family and loved ones. But, one thing I never thought about that I, was reading in some articles was the impact he had on starting the WNBA. Like, I never thought about his connection to that. But, so I just tipped my hat off to him because, WNBA has a very special place in my heart. And so, that's one of the, contributions from him that I'm personally most grateful for.
He did a wonderful job with the NBA.
Yeah, for 30 years.
Yeah, he did a wonderful
in that seat.
The way that it grew at that time, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody, like, no one has anything negative to say about David Stern. So, that just proves how great of a man he was. And, even guys my age, younger than me, like talking to some of my former players, when we would get the updates on our phone, like he's in the hospital because of, a brain hemorrhage, or, when we got the ESPN notification all at the same time that he had passed, I felt like we all were hurt. And, many of us probably can't even tell you all the duties of the commissioner, but we just had such great respect for him as, the face and running the league for so many years of, our life, that, it's definitely sad seeing him. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Also, if you're listening to this, pray for my team. We got some players dealing with loss in their families, so if you can, just pray for our boys. They're dealing with a lot. Before we move into the next episode, take two. Next portion of the show, take a quick break. Thank you for listening to the No Stopping Kev Show. Among our core values are growth and development. If you would like us to help you grow your brand and develop new relationships, reach out to us via email at nostoppingkev@gmail.com. We would love to partner with you. Now let's get back to the show. All right, man. It's 2020. A lot of people have New Year's resolutions, goals for the new year. You got any?
Well, you know what? My goal is to have a better year than last year. And try to take that a day at a time and just try to stay focused.
Mm-hmm. You write down any things you want to accomplish?
No, like I said, I just want to just stay focused and stay positive. Just stay positive in like all areas.
All right, I want to challenge you real quick.
All right, here we go with challenge. What you want to challenge me to?
I'll give you a week. So next time we meet, I want you to write down some goals you got for 2020. We need SMART goals. You know SMART goals? Don't say no.
Yeah. I'll give you a couple.
All right. We need them to be specific, measurable, attainable, or achievable. It's different acronyms. Reasonable and timely. All right.
Okay.
So, check out the Facebook page. This nice little diagram up there telling you all about SMART goals. And then next week I want to see what you got planned for 2020. But, everybody, every time there's a new year, you hear, like, new year, new me. You know, like as soon as the ball drops, it's like, whoo, people feel change, right?
Did you make some goals for this year?
I did.
You did?
I did. I did my whole list. Did my whole list. But you know, one thing that, you know, comes to mind for me in terms of, you know, accomplishing goals in the new year is, you know, you got to kind of be mindful of some things, right? So one thing I learned I think I took a consumer behavior course in college, and I learned about this phenomenon called the fresh start effect. And so what this is when we have like big events in life, so like the new year, birthdays, different holidays, you kind of feel like it's a fresh start, right? Like you kind of feel like that event turns a page or opens a new chapter, right? Especially birthdays and New Year's, right?
I'm listening.
All right, so you follow me?
I'm following you.
Yeah, so that's why people always have this New Year, New Me idea. It's like you turn in the page. And so with the fresh start effect explains is how as time goes on past those events, your kind of motivation for it declines. So you know how people say I'm gonna work out in the new year,
Right.
and they get their gym membership on January 2nd. Then maybe for a week they go, and then they start to drop off. You go from 5 days to 4 to 3, probably to 0, right?
Huh?
Fresh start effect. So one thing we got to be mindful of in setting our goals in 2020 is the fresh start effect. Like, don't let this thing be a little, you know, fad where, you know, like for a week you're all in, you're doing it, right? Let's try to make sure, you know, we hold ourselves accountable and keep up with what we want to accomplish. Feel me?
I feel you.
And so let's also be aware of, you know, false motivation. You know, you got to ask yourself, will I be motivated to do this during tough times? Right? Like I was talking to Coach Dev this week, and on one of his podcast episodes, he was talking about how he doesn't like motivation because it's not there when you really need it, you know? And so, you know, one thing to remember in trying to accomplish any of your goals, your New Year resolutions is, yeah, you got to grind, right? So then I was thinking, you know, I was just kind of in my thoughts the other day, thinking about what does grind mean? And I had a little acronym, or not really an acronym, but, you know, I forget what you call these things, but for G, I had grit. You gotta have some grit. You gotta have some fight to get through it. Because not everything's gonna be easy, and you gotta be able to push through. And then the other thing I said for R, ready for whatever life throws at you. You know, if you're trying to get to the gym and it's, you know, 12 inches of snow outside, you got to ask yourself, am I going to trek it through? The gym open, but am I going to get there? So you got to be ready for whatever hurdles come your way. And, you know, identify hurdles early. What might possibly make you think later on, like, yo, I don't know if I can do this, right? It's like, what might give you those thoughts? Identify them early so when it happens, you're like, yo, I was already prepared for you. Slide over. You know, and never let hurdles stop you. Even the ones you didn't anticipate happening, just kind of that mindset like, yo, all right, I'm going to just figure this thing out. I'm going to get through this. And then D, discipline is key. So now discipline that's a little bit of a multi-layered one. You want to know why, Dad? I'm glad you asked me that. So discipline, by definition, right, is, you know, being willing to let go of, brain fart. Being willing to let go of, you know, like old habits and, so I'm tripping. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Can I back up?
Go ahead.
Can I reverse?
Go ahead.
So, in talking about what we're going to do in 2020 to accomplish our goals, something that we kind of, like our 3 pillars for our team are sacrifice, trust, and discipline. So I want to go back to that discipline piece. Can I go back? Can I do that?
Be free. Feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Thanks. So, you know, sacrifice, you know, being willing to, let go some of your old behaviors and habits, right? Especially when you're talking about new year, new me, right? Sacrifice the old you to become a better you in this new year. So, like in starting a business, starting this podcast, I had to give up some of my old habits. You want to know what one of them was? Man, I can't tell you the last time I played 2K or Call of Duty. And I love it. When I thought about buying a new system, but I heard Xbox coming out with a new console, I think this year maybe. I was like, I'm going to wait to get that one. But what I was finding is when I was trying to, when I was having execution issues, it was like I was wasting time places. So one of the things I had to sacrifice was some of my old pleasures, like video games. So now I put that aside, and now I'm actually working towards some of my goals. So for some people, it might not be video games, it could be something else. But just be mindful, like you're going to have to give up some things to become a better you. And then the second pillar is trust, right? You got to trust the process of achieving your goals. Like it's a journey, but just trust that you're doing, the right things, and that, even when you are in those dark times, that it's going to come. And then discipline, this is probably one of the biggest ones, because I had to talk about this in the huddle the last game you were at, because you weren't there for the fourth quarter, but we had like a lead, right? We had probably a 15-point lead with like 6 and change left in the fourth. And I'm like, all right, guys, listen. Just come down, run our sets. We don't got to rush. We don't got to take quick shots. Even if they try to press us, get it up the floor, pull it out, run something. Because that's what great teams do, right? They'll use some clock down the stretch. I still had guys, 1 pass, 3-pointer. Like you not even a shooter. Like, why are you shooting that? Right? So, called the timeout. We just talked about discipline. Right? And so, discipline by definition is, kind of obeying rules or, the code of behavior. It's also using some form of punishment to correct disobedience. And then it's also like your field of study. So like, your discipline in college could be like finance or whatever you're studying, right? So I kind of like that because all those definitions work perfectly for this. So, staying disciplined in the sense that you need to stick to what's required. You need to stick to doing what's required to achieve your goals. You got to be disciplined in that sense. Like, hey, I'm going to get this done. If I'm trying to read 1 book a month in 2020 to meet my 12, I got to make sure I'm even breaking that down. So, all right, I carve out, 30 minutes a day just for reading, or 30 minutes every other day just as my specific reading times, like whatever it is. You got to stay disciplined in that. The other thing you got to do is, know that essentially hold yourself accountable. If you're not doing something, you gotta say, yo, wake up, what are you doing? You messing up here. And if you discipline yourself by saying, hey, all right, I didn't read yesterday and it was my reading day, and today's movie and relaxation day, now you gotta take some of that time out, you gotta make up for it. So, just stick to what needs to be done in reaching your goals. That's just the big thing I was thinking about.
No, I think that's like really good. And like a lot of people, should relate to that. You know what my favorite thing is though, don't you?
What?
Even on that?
Oh, I think I know exactly what you're gonna say.
I don't even have to say it, do I?
Go ahead. We gonna say it at the same time.
How?
Huh?
How?
Oh shoot, I was wrong then.
What was you
I thought you was gonna go somewhere else.
Where did you thought I was gonna go?
Action speaks louder than words. I thought that was the route you were going.
Well, I mean, all that is still right there.
So tell us more, Dad.
No, I just always like when you break it down with the sacrifice, the trust, and the discipline. I just think of how honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Like when you say that thing, you got to be honest and true to trusting what you say trusted. You got to be open for what's going to come down. And if you really willing, like when we talk about loving something and doing something. It's not work. It get easier now. We just got to be open to do it easier
Mm-hmm.
and do it the right way. And like you say, we had the discipline and
Mm-hmm.
all. So like I'm saying, I love what you just said, but the way I relate to it is how
Mm-hmm.
too. You know.
I think another thing we got to do is invest in the things we want to do. So like Coach Dev was talking about this after
That's good,
practice with
sir.
some of our
That's good.
boys. We were talking about the work we put in the gym. That's your investment, right? So when the
Yeah.
game comes on, you've invested too much to lose. To walk walk off that floor with an L. Like you're in here, I'm up there, playing guys physically the length of the floor. I'm up there, trying to push them to get better. I know some of them probably get pissed off here and there, but they know it's for the better. It's like you go through all of that just to like no.
No, I'm laughing at because of me and you sometimes when you push me and I can get like a certain way, so that's why I was smiling. You know.
Yeah, so it's just like invest, because once you start investing in yourself, there's no turning back. Like you remember, I always share about how, I felt like I had execution issues, right? Then I was like, all right, I've been talking about doing this podcast thing. What I do that made it no turning back? I went out and bought the equipment. I'm like, I'm not just gonna have all this equipment sitting in the crib not using it, cause no, I know how my mind works. I'm like, I done spent dollars on this.
Yeah.
I could have bought 2 Xboxes with this,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like invest in yourself, because then there's no turning back. So yeah, if you want to work out, go ahead and buy that gym membership. Go get your shoes. Go buy your yoga mat. Do what you got to do, but just let those things be reminders of what you're setting out to do. So that's a big thing. And I just think this whole new year, new me thing, like, it's a little bit of a lie, because you got to make a choice if you want to change. You got to make a conscious decision to say, I want to do this. This isn't like, have you seen Avengers?
No.
Oh man, so you don't know my man Thanos?
No.
And he get all the Infinity Stones in his glove, and he can just snap his finger, and he can wipe away like half the Earth's population and all that.
No. Yeah.
All right, you gotta check that movie out. It's great, but the new year, you're not like Thanos. You're not just gonna snap your finger and just instantly evolve. You must, really dissect and identify each piece of what you need to be done. Kind of break your goals down to say, hey, if you're trying to achieve X, what do you have to do along the way to get to that finished product? What needs to be done to reach your goal? So that's why I said spend some time writing down your goals, because then I had you thinking, all right, by this point in the year, I need to be here, or I need to be, I need to have done these 3 things in order to get here, so that you track yourself a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
We talk about choices. It's funny because we talked about this before on the show, I believe, but I got one player, right? This dude, great kid, leadership qualities, but then he still can be a little knucklehead in school and getting in trouble. Or he just does dumb things, right? He's better than that. So it's like, even when I'm lecturing him, I'm like, listen, bro, me and you both know that you already know this. Because you talk to him, you have a very, mature conversation with him. He can tell you about, like, he's like, yeah, I want to go to college because X, Y, and Z. Not because I feel like I gotta go, but because I want to do these things in life, and I want to have this. Like, he already got a plan. Like, I'm like, I was talking to him before the holiday break, and I'm like, you're going to have to make a choice, because you already know what needs to be done. It's a matter of, are you going to do it? I told him, I was like, you have, like, your mindset is far beyond 95 of the kids I coach or interact with, right? Like, the way he talks about his future, he's ahead. Like, most kids don't have that much, not like they don't think that far or understand that next step in life like he does. But despite, being in the 5%, his behaviors at time acts like the 95% of the people that don't think like that, right? So you got to make a choice. Does he want to be the greater version of himself, or does he want to be kind of status quo and fit with everyone else? So we got to make choices here in 2020, people. What do we want?
That's right. Yeah. So, like his actions, his talk don't match his actions all the time. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, it's like he is just too content being the old him, or, you know, status quo blending in. So you got to grow. You keep challenging him.
Well, you know, that come with, like, some of that comes with changing their circle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you hang around the guys that gonna bring you down or want to keep you there, then that's where you're gonna stay.
Right.
You know, so as new friends come or more people, different people in his life, you know, then he'll change. You know, he
100.
know what to do.
Yeah, he knows.
He know what to do.
It's like, I don't gotta tell him. He knows.
Yeah. I can relate
That's-
to a lot of that in life, man. You know, I know right where he at. I
So-
was right there.
So what should I say to him next time I see him?
You know, just keep him just positive. Just keep reminding him.
All right.
You know, sometimes you just gotta, you know, you gotta put something into him, you know, like that.
I said, you know what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna text him today.
Mhm.
Cause he was even acting like a knucklehead at practice.
Yeah. You
Thank
know,
you.
the good thing is, let's hope that he don't get worse or something like that.
Get worse, yeah.
Yeah, you know,
You know, I told him that.
yeah.
I told him, I was like, yo, you are too great. Like, you have so much potential that, you know, in 5 years, I don't want you to just kind of be out here in these streets, or, you know, doing nothing, or just, you know, working a minimum wage job. Because I see so much greater for him, and he can do it. You know, like, I don't want him to have to struggle for the rest of his life just because he didn't want to make the choice to be the better version of himself that's already there. It's not like he has to find it. It's already there. But thank you. So I'm gonna hit him up today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him up. And keep,
So that's one of your players, huh?
yeah, keep nudging him.
I gotta come up to one of your practices too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I gotta make it.
Yeah, you trying to run with us?
Nah, I'm not really trying to run.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
I ain't-
Cause
I ain't
sometimes they
trying
be
to be-
wild.
I ain't trying to be sore. No, I ain't trying to be sore like you.
Yo, just run up the sideline, spot up.
Nah, I ain't trying to be sore.
Yeah, I'm a little banged up. I finished yesterday, and yeah, I was kind of sitting on the scores table. Then I went to hop down and, you know, go take my shoes off, and it just felt like I had all types of nerve issues and things like that. But I'm gonna be alright. I was cramping up running with them,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was
At
like
your-
my calves
at
were
your
tight.
age, I could still run.
I still got buckets, although I
When-
told you at first I felt like I was like 0 for 15. Then I hit that dagger 3. Snatched the soul out of him. Then I knocked down some big free throws. You know why? Because I'm a vet.
You're a vet.
I'm a vet.
I'm a
Can't
vet.
hold down a vet.
I'm a vet.
I'm like Kobe can be 0 for 30. But best believe when game on the line, when that game is on the line, he shooting that ball. That's what I did. And out there got buckets. But yeah, we gotta get ready to bounce.
Okay.
Do the bounce dance. Bounce dance.
Nah,
Bounce,
I ain't bouncing.
bounce, bounce.
I'm bouncing.
Come on, you gotta do it.
No, I ain't doing it. You-
Bounce, bounce,
you-
bounce,
you
bounce.
bounce.
That. Bounce, 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 bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce.
So is your New Year starting off good? Because I'm getting away from the bounce.
Yeah, man. Everything's going well. So I hope all goes well with all of you. So as always, thank you for tuning in. And if this was your first time listening, we appreciate you. Hope to have you back again. And also, most importantly,
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Like I gotta.
you just gonna
I
cut
gotta
me
sh-
off, man.
I'm sorry.
Just
Go
cause,
ahead.
yeah, wait.
I am.
As I was saying,
Okay, go ahead.
rude.
I thought-
Most importantly, share the show with a friend. All right. That's all I was gonna say, Dad.
No, when you were going there, I just remember one of my friends that's down in South Carolina and one that's in Baltimore. Like the one in South Carolina told me I gotta shout my man Hype out, and I gotta shout Mike out. You know, these was two brothers that we was incarcerated that we studied the word a lot together. And they called me and and was telling me about the show last week. And I mean, they tune in every week on the show and stuff like that. And they just want me to shout them out, so I have to shout them out because they mean so much to me.
Oh man.
They help bring me closer to God, man. Really, So I gotta shout y'all out and say I love y'all too, man. I love y'all to death.
That was beautiful. Now I'm gonna challenge y'all right here. I need y'all to make sure y'all actually click that subscribe button. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram, go follow our pages. And let this man know if y'all want hoodie, t-shirt, or crew neck. That joint look fire today. I see you.
Yeah, I put my.
I see you, Pops. My man came ready. Represent.
That's right.
I'm talking about. But all right, y'all, we gotta bounce. But last thing, think about what you want to accomplish in this new year and how you're gonna get there. How you gonna get it done? Don't let it just be, trending in your mind for a week. Figure out what changes you need to make so that you can change your life. That's all I got.
I'm with you. But I love to say God bless y'all, and let's see y'all next week.